Your dream of tending a rustic vineyard can finally be realised with Conan's new Zingaran Vineyard bundle. However, at a pretty steep price, is the juice worth the squeeze? Today, we're going to find out. Firstly, a disclaimer, this set was gifted to me by Funcom. Just like all my other reviews, that will in no way affect my opinions of this set, nor will it affect my recommendation or lack thereof. So without further ado, let's begin. The Zingaran Vintner bundle comes in at 2,366 Kron coins, about $19.70, so we'll call it 20 bucks. The bundle contains the following items: the Zingaran Vineyard Pergola Building Set, Grape Vines, a plate of table grapes, a Zingaran wine cask, a wine bottle and serving tray, the Grape Stomping Tub, and 2 emblem icons, one for the background and one for the foreground. So let's get the simple stuff out of the way and start with the emblems. The emblem icons are not too bad. They initially look a bit messy and busy just based on the preview, but on a banner they work fairly well and suit each other nicely. The background is definitely the weaker of the two and unfortunately doesn't combo too well with other foreground icons. However, the foreground wine cup does go quite well with many other backgrounds. In combination, these two generally work better at a larger scale on a big banner. Overall, a reasonably cohesive emblem offering that is fairly nice but nothing too special. The Grape Stomping Tub is a decently large placeable of grape mush in a tub, ready to be stomped into juice. This placeable supports the player character or thralls, putting them in an animation of stomping the mush. It's pretty simple and fairly cheap to make, costing 50 wood and 20 Highland berries. Someone mentioned in my Discord, link to join in the pinned comment by the way, that this is a bit of a missed opportunity, as it could have been a skin for the fermentation barrel, and I agree, I think that would have been pretty snazzy. Overall, it's not bad, but if it had that little extra utility as a fermentation barrel, I think it would have been a bit better. Next, let's run through the 3 decorations quickly, as they're fairly minor. The serving tray is pretty nice, quite classy, though unfortunately a little low on detail up close. At a glance though, it's good and will work well for the centrepiece of a dinner table. The wine cask is very nicely done, good quality wood slathered with wine stains and bearing some nice metalwork. The cask is solid. Finally, the table grapes are alright. The grapes themselves are a bit blocky when viewed up close, but it's a decent sized plate that works well with the other placeables and the theme at large. Next up, the Grape Vines. These are pretty good. They're designed to sit on a surface, more on that in a moment, and they have a very leafy top side with a simple underneath where the grapes will hang. The grapes are a touch low on detail just like the table grapes, but it's not too noticeable. Overall, it's pretty simple stuff, but I think it can make quite the difference in a nice garden, as the aesthetic of walking beneath these vine-covered corridors is rather wonderful. They also use the variable placement system, so there are multiple layouts of vines in this single item that cycle about once per second. Overall, very nice, though a touch limited by what we'll talk about next. The Zingaran Pergola Building Set is the star of the show. These are all tier 3 pieces and consist of a wall, foundation, and 4 trellis pergola pieces, which are a straight piece, a junction, an interior corner, and an exterior corner. The foundation and wall are a nice rustic stone that are pretty well made. I'm not sure how I feel about the more blocky nature of the foundations from the top, but they will certainly make for a nice road or path design, and the walls are quite good for separating the pergolas. The pergolas themselves are simple wooden frames with a trellis atop them, chiefly designed to hold the grapevines. They use a partially orientation-based placement system which can be a touch finicky at first, but it's easy to get a grip on. They're pretty easygoing, so you can attach them to buildings so long as you place them first, and you can also use them as shelving for barrels and crates and such, which is great. Whilst the pergolas are super flexible, the grapevines, as hinted at earlier, chiefly only really work with the pergolas. There are a couple of ways around it, but I'm probably going to do a follow-up video about how to use this set to its maximum potential. The Pergola Building Set is quite limited unfortunately, but it does some interesting things, especially the pergolas themselves. Some wonderful tiles, though I do wish there was more. On the bugs front, there are 2 issues. The first is that the Grape Stomping Tub doesn't have a fluid stream from the tub unless a player or thrall is in it. That is probably intentional, but the bucket the grape juice goes into always reacts as if it does have a fluid stream, incredibly minor stuff to be honest. The second is that the Pergola Foundation only has 70k health when it should have 100k, as it is tier 3. This will probably get fixed at some point in the future, and to be honest likely won't affect many of the PvE and role players that would use this set, but it's worth mentioning anyway. Aside from that, I haven't spotted any other issues. Ultimately, is the Zingaran Vintner bundle worth your money? In terms of quality, I think my assessment in the thumbnail pretty much stands. It's almost a great bundle, it's just missing some smaller touches. The grape stomping tub not being a reskin of the fermentation barrel is one. My other criticism is the Pergola building pieces. The design is spot on for sort of an old Tuscany kind of vibe, but there just isn't enough of these pieces. Even just a door frame, stairs and a window addition would have been great. Being able to frame the bottom of buildings with these stone pieces would have added a ton of value. I really love the design of them, and to be honest, I almost want to see an extension for it. That rustic vibe is timeless, and it's one that mods have replicated quite well, so I do really want to see it in the base game. I would also kill for a dirt-topped foundation. I was really hoping it would be here and it would have been the perfect time. It's not here, but, you know, Funcom, I need a dirt-topped piece. That being said, there are a lot of positives. The bundle is cohesive, communicates its theme well, and adds a lot of detail for gardeners just with the addition of the vines and pergolas, the latter of which are surprisingly multifaceted. As for if I recommend it, I unfortunately don't. Those things that have been missed out would have made the bundle great, and likely would have pushed it towards being a bit more reasonable for the $20 price point. At the moment, I don't think it's completely out of this world crazy pricing. It's not like they've slapped $20 on a $2 set, but it's also not representative of how much I see these pieces being worth. It's a niche bundle, and I know people out there will be happy to pay the price to finally have base game Vineyard pieces, even if it doesn't have all the bells and whistles we would want. It's nicely made and really cohesive, but again, it's almost great, but not quite, and therefore I do not recommend this bundle. Anyway, that about wraps us up for today with my review of the new Zingaran Vintner bundle on the Black Lotus Bazaar. Pretty unique stuff to be honest, and aesthetically I think it's quite successful, but again, I don't think the price quite matches what you're getting. Those couple of missed opportunities could have made all the difference. Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and of course a massive thanks to our wonderful esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. If you want to see videos early and support the channel directly, consider joining us over on Patreon, link in the description and pinned comment. Take care, and I'll see you soon.